Okay, let us start now. Kayena vacha chittena pamadena maya katang achayang kamame bante bhuri panya tatakata kayena vacha chittena pamadena maya katang achayang kamame dhamma sanditika akalika kayena vacha chittena pamadena maya katang achayang kamame sangha supatipana anuttara sa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Sanghang saranang gacchami. Tisarana gamanang paripunang panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Adina dana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Abrahmacharya veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Musavada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Sura meraya macha pamadatana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Vikala bhojana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Nacha Gita Vadita Visuka Dasana Malaganda Vilepana Dharana Mandana Vibhusanatana Veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Uchasayana Mahasayana Veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. idang me silang magapala nyanasa pacayo hotu appamadena sampadeta. Sadhu, sadhu. Okay, let us start with some guided Maranasati. Now let us all sit here, let go of all the vipassana objects. Just keep the mind calm, open, peaceful. Just be present here and now. Let the body relax from top of the head. Relax the forehead, relax the face and neck. Relax the shoulders and arms. Relax the chest, the stomach area. Relax the spine, relax the back. Relax the buttocks, hips, thighs, knees, calves, ankles, soles, toes. So relax the body, let go of all the tiredness, tightness. My life is uncertain. My life is uncertain. My death is certain. I do not know when death will come, or how it will come, or where it will come. But I do know that it will come. When death comes, it will take everything away. All my possessions, all my wealth, all my gains, name, all my loved ones will snatch this life away from all this. So death comes like a thief in the night. Like we do not know when, where, how. And when it comes, it takes everything away. It robs everything away. Before death comes, let me make the utmost effort to develop the mind, to develop the wholesomeness, and abandon all the unwholesomeness. Before death comes, may I make the utmost effort to develop the mind until enlightenment, until we can escape the clutches of death. Now all of us here are not free from death. All our lives are uncertain, but our death is certain. We too do not know when it will come or how it will come or where it will come. When death arrives, You'll snatch everything away. All our gains, all our name and fame, all our wealth and possessions, all our loved ones, and our lives. Death will rob everything away. So before death comes, let us all make the utmost effort to develop the mind as far as it can go, until enlightenment, to escape the clutches of death. Let us develop the mind, develop the wholesomeness, abandon all the unwholesomeness before death takes everything away. All our loved ones, all our loved ones too, their lives too are uncertain. All their death is certain. They do not know when death will come, how it will come, or where it will come. But when death comes, it will rob everything away. It will snatch everything away. So before death comes, let us all make the utmost effort to develop the mind, to develop the wholesomeness, abandon all the unwholesomeness, until enlightenment is achieved, is realized, so that we can be able to escape the cycle of birth and death, the cycle of this samsara. So may I make the utmost effort before death comes and robs everything away. Now let us let go. Let go of the contemplation, let go of the reflection. Bring back the mind to the body. Feel the rise and fall of the abdomen. Feel the body. And then we can slowly open our eyes. So, today's Thursday. So Tuesday, we were talking about the unpleasant feelings. Yeah. As I said, that these unpleasant feelings, before we're able to note the unpleasant feelings, is again here is to remove or abandon all the wrong perception or the wrong thinking about the pain. Things like some people says that no need to go and note the pain, no need to go and watch the pain. After all, life is so much dukkha. And then there are also devotees or yogis, sorry. There are also yogis, when they notice pain, they already have concept that to note the pain is to make the pain go away. Yeah? That also is a wrong perception. There are also yogis that when they note the pain, they only tolerate the pain, but they do not observe what is going on. And that also is, again, wrong perception, wrong way of doing things. There are also yogis are also um, try to note the pain, but they want to make the pain go, to make it end. They're still watching, not that they don't watch, they still watch, but they want to make it end to end, the pain. And that also is not really right. You have to watch the pain to see what is going on, not wanting this or wanting to have that. Uh, uh, some people watch the pain very far away. That also is not right. Some people watch the pain because they just want to be at ease with the pain. They don't want to be bothered. They don't want let the pain bother them. So sometimes they use all kinds of wrong ways, like metta and so on. So these are some of the wrong perception. So the only right way of doing this is to pay attention to the pain as they are without expectation for it to go away or increase or whatever. Your job is to sit there and pay attention. Yeah. Now here the paying attention. Yeah. The paying attention part here, there are, before you pay attention, there must be able to accept the true nature of them. That means the mind is not resisting it. There must be acceptance. All kinds of unpleasant feelings that arises in the body. So these things, you must at least conceptually, you must accept them as they are. But you haven't actually paid attention to watch what is going on. So now, in order just to know them, to see what is going on, then as I said, there are two aspects of it. One is to begin to see its characteristic. That means the different types of pain: hard, soft pain, pulling pain, numbing pain, itchy pain. What else do you have? There's so many types of pain. Sometimes you don't have the vocabulary for it, but you know that they are different, which is good. That means the mind can able to differentiate the different types of pain. Then together with, when you're able to see its characteristic, the second part is where you can begin to see the changes of the pain, of the unpleasant feelings. They get more, they get less, they change from one type to another type. Sometimes they move around, sometimes they stay and change. So your job is to see them without expecting them to go away or increase or change. Your job is to see them and let it shows you whatever it wants to show you. Now, in order for us to do that, for us to see the nature of the pain, then you must have a lot of this walking meditation, as I said. The third phase walking meditation, and that one is crucial in order to build up moment to moment mindfulness and thoroughness. Because that moment thoroughness, mindfulness thing, during in the third phase especially, it will generate a lot of effort, a tremendous amount of effort. And with that effort, when we sit down, then when the pain comes in, the mind can tolerate on it for a longer period of time. That means, especially like if you are a beginner, then you begin by noting. Usually we cannot tolerate the pain so much. It's only a very short while our mind goes into a lot of aversion, thinking, anger, and so on. But the more that you're able to do the walking and also the daily activities more thoroughly, more presently, more here and now, don't let the mind runs here and there, even when you are in your daily activities. Sometimes we forget a lot. But nevertheless, bring the mind back to the present again and again and again and again. Every moment you try to be mindful, then the mindfulness increases. So when connected with the pain, when the pain becomes strong, clear, then the mind can able to tolerate it for a longer period of time. That's how every yogi will go through the pain. There's no miracle for it. There's no your bone is stronger. There's no such thing as your muscle is bigger or your butt is bigger, less pain. Or your cushion has more cushion. No matter how many cushion you put, pain will sure come. One way or another. So, no matter how many cushioning you put, it's all for the beginning part that you are comfortable. So you're comfortable. Then you put all your cushion, no matter what. But after that, when you start sitting, then you should not move already. Then you should not move as best as possible up to the hour. So more or less, I spoke until about that part. But I said that I want to talk about the imbalance part, but that one I have to put it later because another part which is also crucial. You can able to note, you can able to tolerate, but after your patience get thinner and thinner, what are you going to do? Your toleration tak boleh already, tahan already. You come to your limit already. So what are you going to do after that? So that is also another part of pain that unpleasant feelings that we need to look into it also. So in the beginning part, you can able to note the pain. You can note the pain until its certain limit, perhaps like 20 minutes or 15 minutes and so. But what are we going to do after that when the time is not up yet? A lot of time we hope here the bell rings already. But sometimes it does not ring yet. Because when the pain comes, it feels so long, but actually the time is very short. But when happiness comes, very fast you think that sitting past, but the time actually goes quite long. It's all opposite. So even the minute of strong, excruciating pain, it feels really, really long period of time inside there. So what are you going to do after you come to the end of, not the end of the sitting, but you cannot tolerate anymore? This is where, again, here we have to deal with a lot of thinking, aversion, doubt, skeptical doubt, and so on. A number of things are happening, not just aversion, but mainly is aversion. Mainly is the dislike towards it. Some people not just only dislike, some people really angry about it now when it comes to this part. And this part also can be very interesting because your mind is going to trick you in every way just to get up, to make you to get up, to make you to move the body. You're going to trick you. Sometimes the tricking is just you sit down, you sit down, you're very still, but your mind is ready to tell you, hey, move a little bit, the leg, a little bit. Then you put it back again. Then after that, painful again, you move a bit. Then you put it back. A little trick, the mind will trick you into doing so many things. So now the thing here is that we have to learn to catch it. Here's to learn to catch it. Now, when it comes to that particular part of it, this part of it, then here if aversion arises, if that time aversion, dislike towards the pain, the mind starts to getting very annoyed with the pain, annoyed with the itchiness, frustrated with it. This time you have to note the aversion. Aversion, frustration, don't want, whatever lah. Just keep noting it. If you can, if you can. You have to try this part, because this part is also another crucial part that you have to learn the skills to deal with this part, this area. Because usually when the yogis come to this area, they already give up. Then sometimes they cannot able to finish that 1 hour. But sometimes even some of you may able to meditate and finish hour after hour, sitting after sitting, But there will be certain days this pain can be quite strong. Can be very strong, not quite strong. Then this part, it will bring you again towards the anger and so on. So you got to note the anger. And you note this anger. And sometimes this anger will not just come as anger, but it will come as a lot of thinking that's going on. It will tell you, is it time? Is the bell rang already? Is it that, or it tells you that your blood vessel is going to stuck there, if your health is going to have a problem, or you're going to have a big problem here and there. Then it starts to tell you a lot of story, especially those things that you're attached to. If you're a one who attached to the body very much, then the type of inclination of the mind will start tell you, oh, your leg is going to have problem and this and that. It's better for you to change a little bit, and then just relieve the pain a bit, and then you can continue the sitting. They try to trick you into all these type of things. So a lot of things. Let me see it. There's one yogi long ago. He came into the interview. Bhante, my pain is so horrible. So horrible until I asked my mom to come and help me. Asked my mother. But my mother already passed away 30 years ago. Ask mommy to come and help. See? I nearly laughed until I fall from the seat. It's so painful because you try to ask for every help, The mind will trick you in so many ways. It's just to get you out of this pain. And here you got to note it. Sometimes your mind will begin to doubt yourself. Can I or not? Can I or not? Should I change or not? Should I this or not? Maybe I should not anymore. It makes your heart starts to doubt yourself, and then your confidence starts to flutter, and then that's it. You get up already. You'll trick you in so many ways at this part, at this period, at this part over here. So whatever it is, still keep on noting it. And there'll be times, and there'll be a lot of times, it will tell you to change the posture, the leg. It may not be a posture, but it asks you to change the leg. Or to just, then you come back again, song well. Just like that. Now, the thing is that you move a little bit, it's not a problem if you do it once or twice. But the thing is that it's very quickly, it goes into a bad habit. Every time it comes up, you already want to change. Every time it comes up, you already want to make that little movements. Then your body starts to fidget. You start to fidget just to release that pain, or just it may not be releasing all the pain, but just you just lower down the pain a little bit, lower its threshold a little bit. Then let's continue. Yeah. Sometimes you don't think of it any problem, but actually there's a desire that's also going on as well. Yeah. The desire for pleasantness. There's a bit of desire of pleasantness that's going on. Now, when you really cannot take it anymore, the pain is just too much. You try to note your anger, you try to note this, and everything just cannot work anymore. Now, this time you want to change. Let's say you become too numb already, or too painful already. And then this time you really need to change the leg. You want to change the leg. Not to say you cannot. No, not to say you cannot. But if you need to change, be mindful. And also, if you want to change, the quota is only one time only, per sitting. And it doesn't carry forward to the next sitting. Oh, I don't use this quota, so the next sitting I got 2. No. Once, the best is that we don't move at all. But there'll be times you need to move. Yeah? Now, in a way, when you need to move, there are also a number of things you have to take note of it also. Yeah? Here, the intention. Why do you want to move? Yeah? Your motive of moving. Check your motive first. Usually, the motive to change is usually just to release the pain. Most of us. Yeah? It's just to release the pain. But actually, it will be better if you have this type of intention or this type of motive. That is to say, the pain is just too much. I got no more mindfulness, noting, trying my best, noting it. Well, I need to change the posture. I need to change the leg. I need to move the leg because I want to carry on to develop that mindfulness. Yeah, to develop that mindfulness. Yeah. Then what you should do is that you should take note of your intention, and then you start shifting your leg slowly. And then you note the shifting, moving. At the same time, you have to note the decrease of that pain. As the pain decreases, decrease. At the same time, the leg is moving, and you have to pay attention to how it moves. And how it moves, you put it down after you're there. Then after that, you're aware of that pleasant feeling that comes together with it, or that calm feeling that comes together with it. You continue to note what is going on. Pay attention to it. Then you notice at that, you readjust your posture back again. You readjust, straighten your body again, Then keep it there. Keep it there. Sometimes there may be some residue of pain. If it's just a residue a little bit, if it's not prominent, then let it go. Then back again to your rising and falling, or sitting and touching. And this time, pay attention to the rising and falling until the hour is up, or whatever object that you're noting, until the hour is up. So in this way, this is how we have to, the pain is just too much. We cannot do anything. Sometimes another way, which is also, I think, sometimes it's not very good. The pain is too much, but then there are some yogis. They can. I'm not sure whether they can or not. They try to keep the pain away and just not sitting and touching, or rising and falling. Can or not? Most of it, yes, there are teachers says can, you're so painful already. I just don't want to look at it and just note rising and falling. Easier to say than done, because the whole pain is going to pull you back again. You look at me, not rising, falling. Look at me. You're not going to pull you. Some people say yes, but it's not actually not very good. Well, you have to be careful also with that. Sometimes also people use this way just to avoid the pain. So this part also you have to watch the aversion. And sometimes as the aversion gets lesser together as you shifting the leg, you notice that sometimes a lot of your thoughts, thinking, planning, and so on starts to get less and less and less and less and less. Now, sometimes there are yogis who really, they make the effort to really pay attention to the pain. Somehow that their resilient power is very powerful. They really sit with it. Excruciatingly painful until sometimes, really painful until it breaks the whole pain, and then after that, the pain starts to decrease a little bit. So it all depends whether you can take it or not. Even if you have to change the movement of the leg, so be mindful of it. Take note of your mind, take note of the aversion that is decreasing, sometimes the pleasantness that is arising. All these things are still, you still need to pay attention to it. Then until up to the hour. The best is try not to change at all. Also, there's another thing. Sometimes when a yogi becomes more clearer in noticing a lot of this phenomena arising, passing away, and so on. Sometimes when it comes to the pain also, the yogi can take up whether paying attention to the pain, the feelings of the pain, or the mind that notes the pain. Okay? The mind that notes the pain. That is also another object. So the differentiation between feelings of the pain and the mind that notes the pain, also they can become clear to them. So this time, sometimes even the pain can be excruciating, and they can still able to tolerate. It's not going into a lot of anger yet or aversion, but the mind is already able to see the noting aspect of it, the arising, passing away of the noting that is connected with the pain. And somehow or another, in this way also, the strong feeling of the pain can start to reduce also. Because you're not noting the pain, you're noting the mind that notes the pain. It's a different object. So sometimes that also can happen. It feels that the pain is not so painful, but the moment that you turn the mind back to the feelings again, and it becomes very painful, excruciating again. So sometimes the mind can go to and fro between the noting mind and the pain itself. So this is also can be quite interesting. So this part also is important. The next thing about pain again, what is the benefit to note the pain? Why we have to go through all the pain? Because of course, the first thing is that it's a predominant object, right? But it is not just predominant object, because it will give you a lot of benefit in noticing the pain. One of the aspects is that when you note the pain, because the object of the pain is predominant itself, you try to pay attention to it, it increases and it makes the mindfulness, noting mind even stronger, because it's a very challenging object, a very clear and challenging object. Compared to a rising and falling. Rising and falling is a neutral object, mild. In a way, it's a neutral object, You don't feel happy about it, you don't feel unhappy about it. But pain, you have to have a lot of effort that is being put into it, then you pay attention to it. Then, in other words, the sitting, it gets better and better. A lot of times when they pay attention to the pain, they notice that sleepiness gone, thinking gone. You know? Before they goes into anger, of course, before they go into aversion. So they thinking gone and so on. Because of that, some yogis have some idea, Bante, can I start the sitting with pain or not? I purposely make the pain to come, can or not? So they pull the leg, so they sit like the Buddha, double full lotus. They cannot they push then they straight away want to feel the pain already. Because the pain come, it's good, it's a good friend to them, no sleepiness. I don't go and look for all this problem. There's some yogis get frustrated with the sleepiness. They know that rising, falling doesn't work. Sitting, touching doesn't work. Only the pain work only. Well, then that's why they make the body, they go and do something with the body to make the pain arises. Yeah. But don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah. You purposely to make the pain comes, you're going to have a lot of problem. Yeah. Not to say it's wrong, actually, but it's not a good way. Huh? Now, another benefit is this, is that here, when you're able to note a lot of these unpleasant feelings, and the mind become much more resilient, you have to tolerate, the power of patience is so much more stronger. And it's going to translate this into your everyday life. It's going to translate to your everyday life. And everyday life, we're going to meet with a lot of unpleasant situation, unpleasant people, unpleasant design. So with that, because the mind is trained to take note of all the unpleasant feelings, and yet by taking note of unpleasant feelings, we can able to tolerate the unpleasant feelings before the mind goes into a lot of anger or aversion. So with that also, in our everyday life, our mind becomes more resilient towards all these difficult things. That means the mind can stay more balanced rather than straight away goes into a lot of anger with people, anger with things, anger with this and that. Yeah? So the mind can stay much more, not to say calm, but more steady, more balanced. Yeah? And that is good, because that is good. If not, we don't realize that a lot of all this small little anger, aversion in our life, it creates, mental karma. If you're not careful, that mental karma, it turns into verbal karma or physical karma. Yeah. So it's good that at least we have more resilient power. So again and again, when we're able to note this pain and so on, then not only situation out there, but when unpleasant feelings come and touch your body, that is to say, when the disease come in, or when you have difficulty going through certain life-threatening problem, cancer, this pain and that pain, and then that time, because the mind is trained to notice all the unpleasant feelings during meditation again and again, then here the mind can tolerate the pain more. Not to say that the pain is less, but you can able to tolerate the pain more. So don't underestimate this type of noting the pain here and there. There's a lot of benefits. And finally, of course, the benefit here is Even with the pain, one can also see Nibbana as they are. Can realize Nibbana too, because of it is a phenomenon. It is a phenomenon. That one, not to worry about it. The more that you improve, you will know. So this is something on the pain, on the unpleasant bodily feelings. We haven't touched on the mental unpleasant feelings yet. That is another big area. Perhaps that one we are going to talk about it during maybe during equanimity, that time. Yeah? And also that could be interesting also. Yeah? For those who are staying just a short while, maybe you won't see it now. Maybe you can still follow, like, after you go back, you can still follow. Uh, Now, the next thing on the Viriya, as I said during in the before I talk about this unpleasant bodily feelings, I talk about the sleepiness that you improve this one. Also, I did mention that the effort also, as you begin to meditate for a longer period of time, you stay longer, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 1 month, whole vasa, 1 year. Then here, from a lot to do with balancing the faculties. And one of the faculties that you need to balance is the effort. Is the effort. Here, usually in Malaysia context, it's not the lacking of effort, it's the too much of effort. We do not know how to break one. As the vehicle just can move already, you step on the accelerator. You do not know how to control it. A lot of us are like that, Yeah. So here also is another important area is that we must learn how to reduce the energy. There are times we need to increase the energy. You also must know when to increase. Like, for example, when there's sleepiness, when there's a lot of pain, then the effort needs to be increased. But sometimes there will be times that you become too much effort. Now, again, too much effort. Another thing is the sign of too much effort is a lot of thinking, restless mind. That restless mind, I also can cover it during when we talk about calm, we talk about tranquility, we talk about concentration around that time. We talk about that later on. But here, the one that I'm going to talk about here is the over efforting. Now, the over efforting here is that sometimes some yogis, they tend to push too much on their objects. They tend to push too much on their objects. Generally, the object is already clear. Generally, the object is clear. And how this time, because they want to see the things more clearer, that is where they start to, yeah. It's like, those days we have TV, we have to manually tune it. Nowadays, TV, if you have an area, you only press the button, you auto tune for you. That one, those days we have to tune this one to make sure that we catch the right signal, for a right channel. So, so the moment that you're able to tune until all the pictures become clear, you adjust a little bit here, a little bit there. Finally everything clear. Then you leave it like that. Then you watch. Okay? So something like that also. In the meditation, in the walking, sitting, and daily activities, this is where the skills of a finer skills of a yogi to be able to tune its effort or its concentration or its investigation or its mindfulness on everything. Yeah. So the effort thing here, the too much effort thing is that they over pushing. Yeah. As I said earlier on, just now, is that sometimes yogis are very impatient for progress. They thought that when the object is clear, they want to push the mind, push the attention, push and push and push to make even more clearer. You know, you tune the TV, tune and tune, everything gone. Everything gone again. No, it's just like they cannot be content. No, I wouldn't want to use the word contented. I just to be balanced at that point there. Things are already clear. Don't go and kacau, don't go and disturb it. Things are already clear. Yeah. But sometimes yogis tend to be impatient, they want it clearer. So the attitude of noting is to keep on over pushing on every object they take. That is where a lot of time they go into a lot of tension and headache and migraine and so on. This is one thing. Another thing is that some yogis also, when object is small, sometimes it's clear in the beginning. Let's say it's clear, then it gets smaller. This is another. They go small already. Object is the nature of the object is small, but they thought it cannot be the object. How come it's so small? I want to make it bigger. Then they keep on pushing and pushing and pushing. And that also another problem. Another big problem. Some yogis don't want to change object. Some yogis, somehow or another, they don't like to change object. Perhaps because they may come from a samatha background, or they have a wrong understanding about vipassana. When object is not predominant, they just cannot let go, especially the primary object of the rising and falling. Object is already so small, nothing much, but they keep This is not doing once or twice, because once you have that attitude of doing, every sitting that you're going to do is you're going to apply that same attitude, and because you think that this is the right way to do it. And then that is where it gets a lot of tension building up again and again. This is one thing. Another thing of a yogi is this. Walking meditation. Walking meditation gives around a lot of effort. But if you do not know how to relax the body, to relax the effort when it becomes too much, then you're going to have a lot of problem with too much effort. When I say too much effort, that means it's going to affect your noting mind. Your noting mind is always when things are clear, when you're able to note everything is clear, that means everything is in the optimum level. That means the mindfulness is not too much, not too little. Effort is not too much, not too little. Concentration is not too much, not too little. Everything is working so that you can able to see what is going on. So if everything is clear to you, you know what is going on, that means the mind is already in the balance. But sometimes, as I said, sometimes yogis tend to be overzealous, over pushing. Things are already clear, but they want to make it more clearer. And then they over push one thing. But again, you see, humans are very complex. This two yogi may over push. They want to see things like that. One end up with too much concentration. The other one may end up with too much effort. No. So it can be different. So it doesn't mean that everybody is going to go the same way. But each and every yogi, all of us, when we go for a long retreat, you have to learn to manage too much or too little. You cannot run away from it. It is part and parcel of vipassana progress. That is where a long-term retreat, this learning the skills of balancing, it's so important. It's so important because you're not in the first few days already. You're not in the first week or second week already. You're already like in the third week, fourth week, and then things are just going on already. And things are always on the high. Well, always clear, but not too clear and not too little. No. No. Talking about the walking meditation just now. Some yogis, when they start off with the walking meditation, they tend to go very slow. No relaxation of the body, and that is be quite dangerous. Sometimes you can do it. I'm not saying all the time. I'm not sure you should do it all the time. But sometimes if you do it, it's not a problem. Because once in a while you do it, right in the beginning from a walking meditation, you start away by lifting, pushing, dropping, tin, tin, ta, ta, tin, tin, ta, 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 ta. And then you go for a whole hour like that. Some yogis do like that. Again, this one, for actually many yogis, you're going to end up after a number of days, you're going to feel a lot of tension, a lot of tightness is going to build up. This is not your one-off meditation. If you're one-off, let's say a whole day, you just only do the walking meditation, and then fine. You do one walking, one sitting, only fine. You can start off with the third phase straight away. But here, you have at least like 5 walkings per day. Then not only today, tomorrow you're going to do the same thing. And tomorrow you're going to do the same thing. And again, until you finish your retreat. So some yogis, when they start off with this thing, very slow noting, the next few days, the whole mind is going to go in balance. Just sometimes for me, it's just wait only until they get in balance already. Then sometimes you tell them, hey, don't do that, don't do that. But they won't hear, listen. Until they got problem already, then only at least they learn something, If they don't tell them, if you don't let them fall, they don't know what is pain. So you got to let them fall first. So here, walking meditation, there's no such thing as sorry. I would say, I'm saying that in a walking meditation, your body needs to be relaxed. Yeah, your body needs to be relaxed, and one of the relaxation part is the one phase walking meditation. Now, in the one phase walking meditation, you're not supposed to note a lot of things on it. You're not supposed to have a very clear noting in the one phase. It could be clear if you are more skillful, but doesn't mean it's going to be clear for everybody. The one phase, one of the purpose of one phase is to relax the body after you get up from the sitting or getting up from your bed and so on, stretch out a little bit, move your body a little bit. And then sometimes when there are days, the one phase also can be very helpful in order to reduce a lot of your effort, a lot of your energy. Sometimes there'll be days, the whole hour is only filled with one phase walking meditation. Sometimes in a yogi's development, and then again, that is also another thing. But there are days, it is more like one phase, 2 phase, 3 phase. Some days again, there'll be like one phase back to 3 phase already, and until you finish the thing. Some days it can be, you start off with 3 phase, but after that you reduce back to 1 phase. Then you go. And then after that you increase it back to 3 phase again. Also can. No, it's all flexibility according to that period of time. So there's always flexibility. Sometimes some yogis just stay with the 2 phase only. Sometimes you can stay mostly on the 3 phase. But if you keep on staying at the 3 phase all the time, that it can be a big problem. A lot of tension is going to build up. I've met with yogis in the past that they do the walking is like this. Start off only very, they must not miss a single noting, which of course sometimes they not miss a single noting, lifting, pushing, dropping, sitting down, everything so slowly. They push and push and push until the mind actually really goes into a lot of tension, a lot of tightness. And they give up after that. They give up the whole meditation. They have to end up to see a doctor to release all the tension, to release all the migraine. Because these things you're not doing for one day, you're not doing again and again and again. And these things, it build up. All the tension and all the pressure going to build up. And a number of people gave up. And I met a number of them in the past. I've seen. I too go with all this headache, tension also. But I learned how to manage it over time. Not that I say I don't have. So we learn to manage them. But the more that you're able to develop, you can manage them much more better. But there will be times you need to learn to how to manage them. So one of the things on the walking meditation is that you must have a relaxed body. Relax first. Don't be so hurried to want to go very fast, very slow. Relax first. Relax first. Relax first until your mind feels that you can able to go slow, then you go slow. When you are not a beginner of this walking meditation or sitting meditation, it's about learning to feel when is the right time to go fast, when is the right time to go slow. It's not like every sitting must be the same. It's like learn to feel it. It's a skill, actually. Learn just to feel, should I go faster? Should I go slower? Yeah. But be careful also. Sometimes the mind can trick you into just keep doing faster and then the mind get lazy. So just be careful with that. But again here, this one is more for those more advanced yogi that you learn to feel this one. It's just like those days you have a manual car. You put on the first gear, you step on the first gear, you know when to change the second gear or third gear. You kind of like ram it up a little bit. Then you feel. Over time, you learn to practice again and again to drive the car, then a manual car, then you learn to feel this way. For nowadays, everything is just auto. Still know how to drive manual. You must know how to press the clutch and when to release the clutch and together with with the accelerator. If not, now you let go of the clutch too much, everything gone. So a lot of balance also is involved, especially driving. So too here, walking meditation also the same thing. We'll go with the walking meditation, don't over push. Even when you are in a long retreat, especially when you are in a long retreat. If you're in a 10 days retreat, if let's say you start off with a bit of a 3-phase straight away, I close one eye. Because after 10 days already balik already, your headache come up already, but it's already back already, then all release. It's okay, it's fine. But if you're long-term, I cannot. You cannot, because you're going to go that and then you're going to end up with a lot of all this headache. And then the whole meditation is get affected. You cannot meditate at all. It's the moment you sit down, tension. The moment you start walking, tension. And it's terrible. So as I said, start off with the walking first. Start off with the one phase first. Relax the body first. Generally, make sure that the body is relaxed. Learn to feel it. After that, after a while, you feel that you want to go slow, then go slower. You want to skip second phase, it's perfectly all right. Go to the third phase. You want to go within the third phase, you want to go slower, whatever, then you learn to notice it. And then after that, you pay attention to whatever, then you find that the more that you're able to do it, the body is still relaxed, then well and good, then carry on. But if you begin to feel that tension, it starts to gather, take note of the tension a little bit, but don't this one yet, don't let go yet. Sometimes it's just a little bit, but it's the more that you do, the tension is getting more. Then again, reverse back to one phase. Reverse back to one phase. Then until the tension starts to calm down, then fine. Or another thing is that watch out for that thinking mind. A lot of thinking mind is coming. Let's say you're walking, and then you go slower and slower. You pay attention. Initially, you can able to notice sensation that's coming up in the walking. But after that, short while later, a lot of thinking starts coming up again. A lot of planning and so on. Within that slow walk, again, these all the signs of over efforting coming up already. So what do? Then go faster again. Then we change faster again. Sometimes in the walking, then in the walking also we can able to use the secondary objects rather than just the primary object in order to balance the mind. The secondary object, that means from the ankle upwards all the way to the head. Something that is moving while you are walking. Take attention, perhaps the thighs or the hips or the knees that is moving. So this time, if you feel that sometimes tension building up or thinking building up, you still want to keep the same speed. Okay, then try this way. Then let go of the primary object, which is the movement at the feet, lifting, pushing, dropping. Then this time, take note of another moving object, which is the hips or the knees or sometimes the shoulders that is moving, and then follow it for a while. Follow them for a while. Just walk like what you are walking. You don't have to change the speed. Sometimes changing of the object, it also releases the energy. Because sometimes the thing is that our mind is trying to become very like, oh yo. You put a paper inside the noting mind also split. You put a hair also inside there also split. So concentrated, so concentration, so effort area. So this time also, if you feel that there's too much efforting trying to over focus the whole thing, then again rebalance it by changing into another object. So changing to another object, it disperses the over concentration or over efforting at that moment of time. It goes into a bigger object sometimes or different object. Then the whole mind comes back balanced again. Again, it's a trial and error. All these things it's learning its principle, and when we applied it in our walking, we try this way, that way, as long as the whole mind goes into balance again, clear, relax, then start carry on. So this is one of the way, especially when we do walking. Either you change the speed faster or slower, or you change the object. You change the object to a secondary object. With the secondary object also, sometimes you can stay with the secondary object for a longer period of time. It's still okay. Your mindfulness is still there. But sometimes we are not so used to the secondary object in the walking meditation. We tend to stay with the primary objects only. So get used to the secondary object, just like sitting also the same thing. The secondary object, pain, itchiness, heat, warm, those are secondary object. Rising, falling is the primary object. So it's the same principle of what we are doing in the sitting as in the walking too. So take note of this type of thing. This is one way of how we learn to balance. Now in the sitting also, again here, sometimes in the sitting, it's the same principle again. Of how we disperse the object, disperse the energy. And also it works together with concentration also. Now, again here, sometimes yogi tend to pay attention into the object very strongly. Like for example, when they take up the rising and falling, things are already clear, moving and so on. And then because of their nature, their attitude, well, it's a very want to progress, want to progress, want to achieve, want to get the result, and then they keep holding on, and then the mind become very tense up. Mind very tense up. Then after that, the whole mind become very either very a lot of thinking or a lot of tension in the body that's building up. Yeah. Now, if you able to notice these things happen, again here it will be good that just learn to shift the mind again to the secondary object, just to disperse the mind away from that from that main object. Because if you're going to keep on holding onto that object, the effort is going to go more and more. The tension is going to build up. So disperse again. Here to disperse the object, sometimes you can use sitting and touching. And one of the good ways to disperse an object is to take a big object, not a tiny object. Tiny object going to have a bigger problem, but a big object. So how do you take a big object during in the sitting? During the sitting, the big object is the whole body sitting. Yeah? That means you sweep down from the top of the head, you sweep it down all the way, just to sweep it down a little bit. Yeah? Sweep it down until you feel that things are clear again, things are balanced again, things are okay, back again to the rising and falling. No, to rebalance the mind again and then back again to notice how the rising and falling is taking place. And that time, again, be careful of your attitude again, of the mind is going to. As long as things are clear, just be patient. Keep noting it. Keep noting it. It will keep on changing, and whatever is going on, sooner or later, you're going to see more and more things. You're going to see more and more things. Again, here, all these things is part of the trial and error that you have to go through. Perhaps what I'm saying it here is my own way of how we do it now. But finally, it's up to you how you do it, as long as you bring the mind back to balance and clear again. Yeah? Sometimes some yogis felt that too tense already, they get up and walk because they know they're going to explode already inside there. So they get up and walk. Release it off again. Release it off for 5-10 minutes. Okay. Then back again. Relax again with the rising and falling again. Also can. Yeah. So there's no hard and fast rule. It works for you, then you remember it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we'll stop here for tonight. Tomorrow we'll continue this a little bit more. Okay. Idang me bhavanang nibbanasa pachayo hotu. May my mental cultivation be a condition for the realization of Nibbana. Imang no punya bagang sabba satanang dema. We share these merits with our departed ones, with all beings and all the devas. Sabbe satta sukhi hontu anumodantu. May all beings be happy. May they rejoice in these merits. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.